Charles Gabel. What the hell can we say about you, Charles?
This whole reading series is the, I guess we're all three call each other co-founders, but it's the brainchild of Charles Gabel.
Charles called me up 2 years ago and said, you have to have a party, and there's going to be poetry involved. And I was like, that's a terrible idea.
I was working,
and here we are 2 years later.
I was working the night shift at the Loyola University Student Union building, and it was a Thursday night. We all had class at 4:30 in the morning the next day. And Charles stumbles in, drunk off of 4 pitchers of Sierra Nevada and 8 bottles of Evan Williams bourbon. Hey man, we should all meet up tomorrow and get drunk and read poetry. Alright Charles, sounds great. So we did. And it's continued on into this burgeoning, glowing baby that we have now.
Like most fans of Evan Williams, he's moved off to Idaho, where we will never see him again. Unless
they have fry sauce there.
Unless we cross the Donner
it's the
pass or whatever. Yeah.
Donner's a reindeer in Santa's sleigh.
No, the people who ate each other. The pioneers that ate each other.
Oh,
he lives in their cabin, actually. Which I think that was in California.
You didn't tell me that. I don't remember that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Charles lives in ex-cannibal's cabin.
And I remember this story way different. I remember this story way different, but I'm not going to.
You remember it wrong. We're doing the introductions here. Anyways, so without further ado,
bitter over here.
Charles gets involved.
Charles
Whoa! Watch the radiator, bub.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid getting my arm burned off.
Never called anyone a bub before.
Okay, so
except for you, baby.
okay, so I'm gonna read a bunch of stuff from a project called After Vergil, sort of, maybe. I haven't decided.
Is that the title? After Vergil, sort of, maybe.
So it was before Vergil?
And it's sort of both like, as you would normally think, like after Vergil, but also like post Vergil. But also it had a lot to do with William Wordsworth and reading the Prelude. So that's what I do now. And a number of them are also self-portraits. I feel like I should have, I can't claim I planned it, but I should have said like, oh, well, portraiture. It's a theme of the evening. Alright, self-portrait. I want to believe you believe me, smug billowing into the letters, how big again, sodding cuts of snow against my ends, of hair, it's just hair. Quilts of last turns of the did you know what sun spittles us forth into tight headlights, drag, smirching on our hips, some in connective tissue only to sample, and little stretches undressed on the floor. It's unto my bloomed double here, not casual gods, kissed back to bend, and here, just here, a typeset of birds cut out and snapped back to sing. Number 2. Linger of glass shadow at the bar, in the front seat drying on Wyoming, stitched into the wind ourselves, a wind lost in my breath to you. Write me a fresh smudge to tongue against, some cast of Roman plumes against the snow or lake, or the small puffs of my breath handed out. On becoming a poet, designate your eyes, Orphic drizzle back on my gutted eyes, not gutted, just not just, a frame for the glass shadow. On portraits. And this, there are a bunch of moments in the Prelude where Wordsworth refers to his holy powers, which is fun.
Like laser vision.
Portrait pickles on the edge of William's holy powers. The forest's plaster inverse redolls my face. Stones flipped in the coat pocket to avoid the portrait. It tills up the sun. A singing voice glowed into my hollow parts in my middle. Now, number 3. This is tilling up the sun. Evidence this tilling up the sun. Lattice here, sopping. Watery shoes drip with you now, and now. You by name slicks past. Approach my shy ruin. Forthcoming of the knotted, in my middle, a single break in the light, sliding across me, my glass onto the palm. And this is an interlude. Poet builds transhuman Apollo, and builds a simple wind on your lip to utter no tilling to. Sight wills a currency of tug on skin. Slips of will dash to this wind utter rims of beer glass meant to mirror and slacken. And then here's the I'm interested in brevity right now, so I'm just going to read one more, but it's medium size. And it doesn't have a title. I slice a blood blister into my dream, wooing the Orphic lick. How can I make us a little closer in here? If only a little vision inked out on the cold. I have a hand on the front of your hip. It's not such a baroque tug. Let me bathe the storm leafing across the plain, walls around me. Sweaty window drifts to rest on the morning with a sparrow's tip. They stencil shy. How? I sew a poem into my, and the glass shadow chased makes a pull for it. No, more poems, salting Vergil. For what? A letter to you, warm legs, spotty versions of nocturne I paste together around your shoulder, my language. Bumbles, and I count so bad upon you, I'm sorry. Split nocturne. Some curve writes me like the dead used to. The water reel down my hand to my pocket. What weather? Real naked smudge on my skin. Here it is, lit up grass consoled. To me, how close can we get in here? A clot of Vergil sewing up some dusty blood into the meadow clog of flute music concussed like us. Around the poet, alternates, hips of the wind cuffs us. What ink settles like this to know your naked feet? It's a place to rest back from the meadow.